Hello and a warm welcome back to an episode of the Wendurkcast, your podcast about all things concerning the Metaverse Football League. As always, we're your hosts, Calvin, Adrian, and Jimbo, and together we'll discuss latest MFL updates, transfers, developments, all the juicy content that's occurred over the last 7 or so days. One important note before we fly into everything: none of what we chat about is financial advice. Do your own scouting or hire a director of Metaverse Football. Calvin, my man, good week? All good with you? How you doing?
Well, I think we both had a great week because we had an amazing stream last Tuesday with a ton of engagement, most we've seen so far. Like you got some data, right, on that? I don't know if you have it.
We'll fly straight into it then. Fly into the data, data dive first thing. So, yes, we had the stream on Tuesday. We had, obviously, remember take into account that we are embedded within the website during the drop as well. So even if you're not on Twitch, but you're on the website, it still counts as a view. But regardless, we had 697 unique viewers, which, to put some context and comparison with that, the mega drop, which happened last October, November, which obviously had loads of packs, loads of legendary packs, all that sort of stuff, we had about 311. So we've almost doubled the unique viewers for the stream. Or no, we've pushed over double. A max viewer count of 254 at any one time. Average viewers, 121.9. Not quite sure where the 0.9 comes from. I know it's average, but I thought it would still be a whole number. We had 102 unique chatters, which I think is a massive one. 102 unique people engaging, and we then gained overall about 44 new followers on the Twitch channel. So it was a hugely successful stream, a hugely successful pack drop for MFL. I think we all anticipated an increased demand with the new users we've had the last couple of months, but I don't think, from a stream perspective and a pack grabbing perspective, no one anticipated that much demand. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, I think I said this on stream too. Like, I prepared this quiz on Blue Cat, which has a maximum of 60 participants, and then I saw like, oh no, we have like, well, oh no, or oh yes, we have like 100 people watching us. So I quickly had to upgrade my plan there a little bit to facilitate it, but I gladly do it, and it was really fun to have a quiz of like, I think we started with like 80 participants in the quiz, so also massive quiz.
It was crazy, yeah. We had 80 plus people in the quiz. We did a quick raffle at the beginning, which I think got about 80 to 90 people entered in that. And that was in the first 10 minutes of the stream. So that's nearly an hour before the pack drops even happened, and we already had sort of like 100 people joining in. Yeah, it was
nuts. It was nuts, but really, really good. And we're going to do it again, of course, because Tuesday we have another drop and another stream. I think we still have to kind of decide if it will be similar, or we're gonna, I think, maybe change one or two things. Yeah, it will be fun.
We've got to decide on that. But Tuesday of the stream, it's going to be great again. I hope we get these same numbers, if not more. Let's try and push and beat on some of these numbers. I'm sure we will. So remember, folks, if you're around on Tuesday for the drop, an hour beforehand, and then about half an hour afterwards as well. Twitch.tv/Wendurkcast. Get involved. Come watch some stuff. Great stuff.
Yeah, and actually, this kind of is a good transition to our topic, because we thought like we are now streaming to drops, and we never, I think, dedicated an episode to drops in general.
No. Yeah.
So I thought it would be a good plan to talk about drops, maybe a bit like what should you maybe buy, which kind of packs. I also want to talk about my strategy, or our strategies about clicking. So maybe we can give some tips, because some people are pretty sad they get no packs, so maybe we can help them with like a tip, like what is our clicking strategy, but also a bit more like bigger, like we have now the store coming up and then packs, so maybe like what is smarter, do you buy packs or just guys in the store? So I think we have quite a lot of things to talk about, maybe also about priority, or maybe do we have some feedback or thoughts about new features for drops. So a lot to discuss just about drops, I think.
Yeah. And before we get into the weekly updates, I want to just give a quick shout out again to Taggart. So for those of you who weren't aware, he did a Stone giveaway in 20 players, and as part of the requirements to enter into the giveaway, he included giving a review or some feedback for the Wendurkcast, and that came to a conclusion, to a head this week, and Trequinio, I guess I'm pronouncing that right, ends up becoming the winner. And I think you were saying that is he a football manager?
Yeah, he's
content creator.
He is relatively big. I think he has like 15k subs on YouTube when I checked.
Nice.
So I also chatted to him on Twitter before, a bit like about my videos. He talked about that with me,
cool.
and so a little convo. So I know he was getting into MFL, and yeah, it's nice that he got his second club through this giveaway. So hopefully he will generate some MFL videos, also some content on his channel. Would be really good. Yeah. So later on, we'll talk about drops. Now I think we can move straight into the updates. And we did play some matches in the preseason tournament. So how did your two teams do, Jimbo?
Wyverns are out. It came to a final game. Had to win it, basically, to stay. Had to win it and a result go my way. I didn't win and the result didn't go my way either. So, even if I did win, it wouldn't have worked out. However, my second club, the old Espar Tails, they're in a knockout game this evening against... I think top of my head, it's a club called Budapest Barbarians, so I quite like the name. So we'll see how my second club does. Usually I say this on the day of recording, and then by the time this video gets published or podcast gets published on the Monday, you're listening to this now probably, or on release day, I'm already knocked out. But hopefully we're not knocked out and we're actually going to get somewhere. How about yourself?
Some curses again. We have multiple curses, I think, going on here.
We've got to stop cursing ourselves.
Yeah, or jinxing. Yeah. Well, maybe I'm gonna jinx myself now, but it went pretty well because 5 out of 7 clubs of my 7 clubs
nice.
Went through. So I think that's a pretty nice percentage. And the other 2 that got kicked out, they were pretty competitive. A couple of close calls in the matches.
Did Black Sea got knocked out, didn't they?
Unfortunately, that's the only team with CD Ganaderos.
Rango in it, mate. I was fuming.
Yes.
I think out of all my agency, I probably only have about 5-6 players that were in clubs who were participating in my agency. So not that many. Only my second club and one other team got through. I was like, I've got quite a boring schedule now.
That's pretty bad. Yeah. Now I think Arango did score a couple goals, but it was a bit unlucky with some
saving it for the season. He's saving it.
Yes, I think that's the thing. But yeah, with this tournament, it's really like you only get points, right? If you don't need the MFL coin if you win. So it's really like winner takes all form. So I think in general you have to be a bit lucky with this to get any rewards. But yeah, it's about testing. It's about seeing how your teams do. I think if your team qualifies, I think your tactic is pretty all right. Like it works to a certain degree. So that is like a good sign for me that most of my teams have tactics that seem to work. So that gives some hope. But yeah, Black Sea FC, I need to work on that. So Arango needs to get that boot finally for you, the golden boot in silver.
I need a player trophy badly, man.
Yeah, that's Project Arango. We'll keep you updated on that.
Love that.
Yes. Okay, dev updates. What has happened? So in the drop earlier this week, what happened is that you could pay with your MFL. So with all the rewards you earned by playing. And that went pretty well, but the team has worked to make sure it could. You could pay with MFL. It went pretty well. 52 packs have been purchased in MFL for a total of 1.7 million MFL. So that has been spent. I also did buy a rare pack with it, and it went very smoothly. Nice. Even a kickoff also.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
There was also one legendary pack as well was bought using those points, which I think is I think
great. It's really great. Yeah. It's like you're, instead of spending real money, let's say you spend this. Yeah, so you don't feel it in your pocket, let's say. That's a really nice feeling. So, and it's rewarding. Like it's motivating, right? Like, if I win this, I can buy more packs with that in-game currency. Yeah. So yeah, that's great. Regarding the engine, so penalty shootout has been, let's say, integration has been completed. It will be deployed soon. Quentin has been working on some new formations. Also on Twitter, I saw a poll, and in the chat has been some talk about which ones to introduce. So Quentin's working on that. And the team is also striving to improve realism by reducing frequency of games ending with extremely high scores. So yeah, sometimes it's kind of escalates again, and yeah, there's really this balance. Of course, you need to find between kind of no upsets, but also no crazy scores. Both things are not good, I think, if it's too much of one thing. Also, the autofill mechanism to prevent forfeits has been implemented and will soon be deployed too, so that it will be ready for the new season, so we don't have too many forfeits anymore, which is great. Progress continues on the player progression feature, some minor tweaks, and yeah, a couple of things need to be done, but it seems to be getting ready. And finally, again, maybe, I don't know, inspired by it was pretty funny we talked about etiquette and like straight, there were way more discussions.
I think it was a very timely
exactly.
podcast release, because it was started by some conversation about it, and we thought we'll do a podcast episode on it, and then our episode was then sandwiched by another big conversation, probably with, for the next 4 days about etiquette. But every day there's been a conversation about contracts and things,
Pretty much, yeah. But so the good thing is that the team has also been reading those conversations and listening to us a little bit, I guess. And a more explicit warning has now been added. So when you're purchasing a player under contract, you'll get a more explicit warning. I didn't try it out yet, but it's good that it's there. And I think there's been more talk about some, new features maybe to prevent more problems with this. But yeah, that was funny to see it, right? The whole discussion again.
Yeah, I still think that warning could be slightly bigger, but there's always a question like how big is too big, or when's it getting out of hand? But yeah, no, it's great to see. I feel like we have a little pull, we have a little influence, don't we?
MFL influencers.
Not quite, mate. We're getting there. Yeah. But I don't know if you saw a little bit of a dev update, which wasn't included on it because it's technically not an update, but did you see the chat this morning about penalty takers and what happens if it's always like it goes to a draw or whatever and it gets to goalkeepers? Did you see how they determine what stat your goalkeeper has for shooting?
No, surprised me. I didn't.
So Quinton said they've put in, or they've coded or what developed in that if it comes to your keeper shooting, because obviously you can pick your penalty takers, right, in the team instructions. If it goes through all of those top 5 and whatever, and it comes to your goalkeeper's shooting stat is about half his overall rating.
Okay, interesting.
So that is what his shooting stat becomes. If you've got an 80 rated keeper, he's going to have about 40 shooting, which I think is very interesting, because it basically says the goalkeeper's not really supposed to score, which is... Yeah, I don't really know how you make that realistic, because it's just a kick of the ball, isn't it?
It is pretty realistic. I think goalies would have like 40 shooting.
They would, but I think
maybe in FIFA or something like they would also.
Yeah, I think 40 shooting is still quite harsh. I don't know for penalties. Yeah, I think it's the correct way to go about it.
Yeah,
I think it's the best way we can go about giving a goalkeeper shooting stats, but. Can you really? You can be bad at taking penalties, but I don't think it's down. That's a whole other can of worms.
We'll have to see how this goes. Yeah, like first we have to see probably in the cup, right? I don't think now we don't have those penalties. Do we have penalty shootouts now already? Pre-season?
Yes, I think they are for pre-season tournament. Yeah.
Okay, so we might see. Let's say when we're recording, so like in an hour, we might see the first shootouts. That's pretty. Interesting.
I'm gonna see it. I'll keep an eye on this. If we get any games during the recording, I'll keep an eye on it and try and.
Okay, we can come back to this point, like if there's any keeper who scored already. Yeah. But okay. Let's move to the season update. So last week we had nothing really apart from the Copa del Discord. Now we know the champions. So Eric won with Cidade Maravilhosa, the team. So congrats. To him for winning.
I saw he also won one of his own prizes as well. He donated a prize and then he also won it as well, which I found quite funny.
Yeah. Well, it's nice. Like he's being very generous and then also gets it again.
Yeah.
But what I think is the most interesting to talk about is that preseason tournament has started, of course, and in Cup 1 we see all the diamond teams in action combined with some plat teams. So it's really cool to have, let's say, look at that, like how are the diamond teams doing. And I think there's like a couple of surprises in there. I don't know if you follow this a little bit while you're looking at the table right now.
Yeah.
So, for example, Sturge team did really good. Topped the group 2, Joga Bonito.
Yep.
Met the Mercenaries also won a group, but that's not a surprise.
Shock horror, yeah.
Maybe a bit more is that BFC Barcelona, but in a group with Dios, Bicione Milano, and with Sturgis Joga Bonito, but they ended 4th in that group.
And also with Gaffer's Meta Prime as well. So we've got Gaffer with his first competitive, if you want to call it preseason tournament competitive, games coming.
Yeah, but they had a very, it was like the group of death probably, right? This group.
Yeah.
I think that was like the toughest group by far.
Yeah.
Also interesting, Joe B won pretty dominantly the 10 points. So 3 wins, 1 draw, group 1. So he seems pretty ready for Diamond. And then, we talked about his transfers and he's really...
He probably has the easiest group though, really. When you look at it from, he's all platinum sides, isn't he? With his diamond.
Yes.
With his diamond,
yeah.
So.
But looking at group 2, the plat team also won against 3 diamond teams.
Yeah.
So it's... Some plat teams are pretty comparable, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it shows that he's really ready for Diamond. I'm really curious how he will do this season with all his new guys and the reshuffling he did. Londinium, they also topped the group, so that's nice. So they won the Titans Co-op and they really seem ready.
Only team to win all 4 games as well.
Exactly.
Cup 1.
And also interesting, Orche is he did compete. That's already one great thing. He competed. He's there, and hopefully he'll join Diamond too. He did finish last in Group 3, but I checked his squad, and it's not that bad for Diamond. It's pretty good for Diamond. So he should also be doing well. So I think we'll have 10 teams with pretty good squads in Diamond. So it will be very exciting. That's I think the conclusion so far. And now I have to really get ready
Good luck, fella.
For the marketplace update, because I found at least 48. Sometimes some guys probably slip my net because there was just incredible salesbot activity. Like ridiculous levels. Maybe one of the busiest week for the salesbot. But I did find 48 new users who all deserve a shout out. And there were some pretty also like surprising moves already by those new users. So I'll talk about it right now. So here we go. So Le Retour 8, my favorite name so far, Jesu Crypto. He's here. And he bought an Iron Club to start out with. That's great. La Lange, Malicia, Toninho, La Trick, MFL, Vanity 9, Zarkop, Splefinho. Also a nice name. TD1214 also got Iron straight. Max PTRL, and he packed a Lego, by the way, from a kickoff pack too. So maybe all the Diamond guys should reach out to him. Kike 23, Fofi, JJ, Clem, Celcinho, French Kiss, interesting name too. Fabe 64, Le Guincampin, La Boucherie de Bras, if I say that in good French. Alex Rep, Tim Lanou.
I think you did.
Beerzot, Tagazox 06, Mortalian, Ultra UOS, Majin Buu, Azimak, Papinals, Avilon, Balfa 13, Inaluki, who I heard played a lot of friendlies against Jimbo, right?
Yeah.
He's very passionate already.
Yeah, he's. I think in the last day, he's probably played about at least 50 friendlies against my second club. Every time I look and load up MF website, I just see a live game going on. The guy's relentless. He'll play a game as many as he can within about an hour break. Probably do some tactics, some research, some management, some data analytics. Then he's straight back on it again with another 10, 11 games in a row. I love it.
It's great. So he should be new user of the week, but I have some other names, but I'll tell you later. Shagoni, Romano, Cedric 1993, KCJM, Elko Savi, Emilien 39, Adrien Roussel, Lorenzozo, Hugo Lasso, en een swingtherapeut, Tom 17, C3 M5, Jagatak, and Zibuibui. Very interesting names.
Zibuibui.
And then I have two new users of the week. I'll tell you why. Johnny and Chloe, they both bought a silver club. So they are new and they went straight into silver. So they both bought a silver club. And also quite some rares. So new users who go like no testing, no experimenting, just boom, silver and let's go. So that's great that they do it. Then let's do some shout outs to active managers. I think Verblender, if you checked Salesbot, you saw his name the whole time.
Yep.
He swept like the whole comment floor, tons of comments he bought this week. Fortress Agency to a lesser extent, but Verblender was like on the roll. Clubs, also some interesting things. So Aniki got 2 stone, Darkside, Imuan, Adrian, 1986, Not Me, Big T, all got new stones. Noe Sark, a new iron. 2 relatively new users, Sam 100 and Cokelio, got a bronze club. Unai, also pretty new user, got a silver club. So we really see new users.
Could that be Unai Simon, the
maybe
Bilbao keeper? Yeah, maybe. You never know.
We never know. But I think Nyako, he is the biggest club transfer of the week because he got a gold club and a bronze club, and he's also pretty new. And he got tons of rares, so he's been really very active on the market. Then in terms of legendaries, Dio we just saw a couple hours ago, got 2 new legendaries. Kinshu also, loads of legendaries. Cool 0604 and Joe B keeps building. But we have 2 more interesting things to talk about.
Most definitely.
First, whole story about a trade. Maybe Jimbo, you can tell us what happened here with like this trade.
I was gonna do my little intro, but I'm gonna add trade into it as well. So listen out for this, mate. Ready? Splash and trade of the week.
Great one.
There we go. So we can include it both because I feel like it deserves to be a combo.
Yes.
As always, we'll start with a splash. Kinju, who you just called out for purchasing some legendaries, spent 1,350 USD on an 89 rated cam from Nigeria by the name of Patrick Uche. This guy's done the rounds over the last couple of weeks. I feel like he's been bought a few times.
Yes.
Obviously, originally from my agency, sold him for far less than that. So congrats to you two there. But the trade of the week. So a bit of context. For those of you who don't know, King Dingaling, who's also been a guest on the podcast, somehow, was it a kickoff pack, standard pack?
I think it was a kickoff, yeah.
A kickoff pack. Yeah. So with, what's the percent shot? Like, is it 0.25% or something ridiculous, right? Got himself 93 rated Jeremy Clare. He's an English left mid. I think he is the 3rd or the 4th highest rated player in the game.
Yes.
Like just unbelievable.
Crazy pool.
Unbelievable player. He pulled him in a kickoff pack. And he knew that, that was a player that everyone wanted. All the big managers were after him in those packs. And he pulled it from a kickoff pack. So first of all, well done. But then we were getting insider information about some crazy offers, some crazy trades. This man suddenly became, more wanted than Taylor Swift tickets. Like this guy, not just King Dingling's attention, but Jeremy Clare became essentially a Taylor Swift ticket. Everyone was throwing mad offers and trades. But in the end, FC Cincinnati or Profound Soda acquired, through a trade, Jeremy Clare from King Dingaling. And Profound Soda in the general chat said, big announcement, he's traded for about $4,500, which I think is unreal. If that is the number we're talking about, that's well over $2,000, just over $2,000, or just under $2,000 more than whatever our single highest sale would have been. And we've got a trade here. It was the trade we can see is 6 rares and a legendary. I think there's some more going on with this, that there's some other shifting of funds behind the scene, because that quite doesn't add up to...
Yeah, 4,500, right?
Yeah, that doesn't quite add up. So I think there's some some other players or other value assets being traded there. But our insider intel, our source, told us, I'm going to keep this anonymous because I think it's quite funny as part of it, that there was even some offers of, I will fly you to, to somewhere, and I will put you in a hotel for the weekend, which sounds quite escort-like, doesn't it? But there was some crazy offers going around. So I think in the next couple of weeks when the transfer window is done, we're going to do like a little bit of a recap on it, and we're going to try and get some input from all the people who were maybe sending offers, King Dingling himself, everyone who's packed Unreal players basically and had offers of huge amounts come towards them. We're going to do like a little bit of a transfer deadline day, but it probably won't be deadline day, but yeah.
Yes, a bit like Fabrizio Romano style research into some transfers agents. But yeah, really Unreal Pool and this whole trade, yeah. Well, I think for King it's great that he has now loads of players he can use to boost his clubs. Yeah, and instead of one crazy star. So I think it will help him way more with his goals this season. And for, now Parque Ibirapuera has really a superstar that will maybe boost their squad. So I think it's a great trade for both parties. And maybe more went on, but we don't know. Right.
Yeah, I think there's more to it. Just to highlight this guy's stats. So he's 93 rated left mid, can also play cam as second position. He's 20 years old. He's got 73 pace, 93 shooting, 95 passing, 93 dribbling, 88 defense, and 88 physical, which is just some unbelievable, like unreal stats on him. For a legendary, like all round, I'm not sure if you added them all together if he'd be the highest sum of stats.
Yeah, it could be,
but it's just unreal. So congrats to King, congrats to Profound Soda. There's also another big trade on there as well, which we've not just talked about. Peeb got an 89 rated centre mid, and I think him and Sturge did a trade together, which I think is probably valued about $1,100 going to each other. So that's also great. So we've seen some really big sales at the moment. And before we do move on, I've got a few stats about the marketplace actually, because we know it's been a
crazy week. Yes.
Yeah, we know it's been this is a crazy week, but also just a crazy month in general, right? So do you want to have a guess quickly? So far this month, how much money has been sold or
like
what's the volume for this
sales
month so
volume
far?
of this month? Ooh.
Yeah, just on the marketplace, right?
I would say 40k, something
68,800 ish when this was taken, and we're not even finished the month yet. We're already at our biggest ever sales volume for the month in MFL history. We've already had the most transactions, beating the previous by about 800. We're at just over 2,500 transactions. Unique buyers, 328, the highest it's ever been, beating second place by well over 100, or just under 100. Unique sellers, 462, which I think is just nuts. And there's currently, it says, about this month, 792 active owners. So I'm not actually quite sure what that stat really means, to be fair. But I think the key takeaway from this is that we've not even finished this month, and
it's already best
we
month,
knew we had loads of sales. We knew we had loads of new managers, which is a result of those new sales, or which is bumping up those sales. But the sales volume itself is the biggest it's ever been. So I think 50 last month was our previous biggest at 53,000, and now we're at 68,000 already. So yeah, congrats to everyone who's contributed to that, I guess.
Yes. Well, we can really say MFL is on fire if we look at our stream and the sales bot and all the new people joining. It's going really well, so it's very promising. Yes. So final update as always. Dirk, and he's been playing again. Although he didn't play in all 4 games in the preseason tourney, he only started in 2. But in those 2, he did pretty well. He gave 2 assists and 1 goal with an average rating. Well, one game was 8.7 and the other 7.9. So that is like 8.34. So he did very well, but apparently not good enough because he didn't play in the last 2 matches for Meta Mercenaries. What does that say about Ronin?
I don't know. Maybe he got a little injury. Maybe maybe he just said to the gaffer, "Cool, I've already beaten last year's goals, so I just got to have a rest now." Well, last season's goal. He got 1 goal last season, wasn't it? Was that whole season just in the league, regardless?
I think the league. I think he's a cup guy, right? That's like his reputation now.
He's a cup merchant.
And this is a cup, so of course he's playing well.
Yeah.
But yeah, he didn't start in the last 2 games of preseason tourney. They did top the group and they're up like playing in the next round. So maybe he's back. We'll have to see how he's doing.
Yeah,
but it's promising for us that the 2 first official games of 0.6 that he played, he did well and he is really contributing to the score.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. Yes. Okay, so time for the main segment. Or you have something to say? Oh.
Did you have any vegetables today?
Any vegetables? Well, I cooked. I'll tell you some details. I cooked pasta with zucchini.
Ooh. For the
red
UK
onion.
lot, that's a courgette, by the way.
Courgette, okay. Courgette or zucchini. Red onion, a red pepper. What else was in there? Some olives.
Your favourite colour pepper? Your favourite colour pepper?
Red, of course. I think red peppers are the best. Yeah.
I quite like the yellow ones.
Some tomatoes, right, of course. So you can say I did eat loads of veggies today. So I got my quota.
Good man.
Yeah. You too?
For dinner today, actually, I had salmon with some couscous and some broccoli with some green beans with it. So I got my. Is it a healthy day for both of us?
Healthy day, yeah. We got our greens.
I did have a big Five Guys burger yesterday during the boxing fight, so I felt today I had to be a bit healthier, right?
Yeah, good. So we'll see if there will be any feedback on our diets in the chat based on this. But I think we did pretty good. We did pretty good, definitely.
Not nutritionist advice.
Yes.
Not nutritional advice.
Exactly. Although do eat your greens. That's my advice. Okay, let's move on to the drops. So we're gonna talk everything, let's say, related to drops. We're gonna talk about that. First of all, Jimbo, what do you think in general about drops? What makes it so good?
What makes it so good? Wow. Well, first of all, I guess the whole thing is just the absolute euphoria and the feeling you get of opening a bloody pack, mate. Just, it's an unbelievable experience, really, isn't it? The reveal, the music, the uncertainty, the excitement. I guess even purchasing the pack is almost an experience in itself because that's the hardest bit. The hardest bit is trying to get hold of one of these things at the moment, right? There's so many people out there trying to grab one, and there's just not enough supply of packs, which I think is a good problem to have.
Yes, it was. So this time was like I think the craziest, right? Like within 2 minutes, I think everything was gone. Almost.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, and before we had like standard packs. I think when we had the big 8 drops in a row, I think even after that, was it a mega drop, right?
Yeah.
I think the next morning there was still packs left. There were like some standard. And
there was a lot, yeah.
Yeah, so, and now to go from that to 2 minutes, everything is gone. Also, the new kickoff packs is, again, a great sign. But yeah, I think packs or drops are a bit like emotional roller coasters, right? First, like, I need to get one. Then you get one, then you open one, and then you have those different cards. And it could be anything. It could be a legendary.
Yeah.
Right? It could be...
And I feel like you've got 2 ways of opening it, right? You can not hover over the icons to see what rarity you've got, because you can see if you've got an upgrade, or you can see what rarities you've got within your pack, or you can just do what I do. I just like closing my eyes and just looking away. No look pack, a no look reveal, which I think is also a good way. So you get completely taken by surprise.
Yes,
but yeah, it is. You're certainly right to use the phrase "an emotional roller coaster." That is a great way to describe.
Yes, I remember the first, now I'm way more chill about this, but I remember the first drop, I was like really tense, like proper, like as if you
Heart
have to
rate
do
goes up. Yeah.
to do like a proper presentation. I was really like almost shaky and like trying to click. Now, well, we can talk now maybe about the clicking strategy. I think now I know a way to always certainly get something, but we'll talk about that later, my clicking tips. But yeah, then I didn't know that, and I was like, how can I get something? And then I was really happy I got like a rare pack, I think. That's in that first drop. I got it. So it was really interesting experience. A lot of excitement. So which packs to buy? I put it as like one of the first, like
not financial advice.
Not financial advice, but some strategy. Like I think people asked us also during the stream. It's like, what are you guys gonna get? What should I get if I'm a new guy? Or like, what is like the most value? I think people asked it too, like during the drop, the stream.
Yeah.
Like, what is the most value? So maybe we answer. Yeah, we talked about it then, but let's talk about it. So what would you say?
I
maybe
think,
personally, let's say what do you buy now and why? What's your thing?
Ooh, really good question. I buy what I would want. Well, prior to this drop, I'd always try and go for legendary because this is something. And legendary packs pre these two drops, I think, had a much better return on them. Whereas now, I think we're seeing there are legendary players on the market for less than legendary pack right now. But so at the moment, I'm going for just the standard with the uncommon player in it. However, I think that this drop is or these two drops are really interesting, and we just had one we're going to get on Tuesday or tomorrow. Is that I think there's a bit more decision to be made whether or not like which one you go for, depending on what your strategy is. Is your strategy, I want to acquire players? Do I want to acquire best players and go for as high as you can go, legendary, rare, whatever? But if people are out there for the I guess we'll call it the flipping and the money side to it in terms of value, I think that at the moment the standard is probably it's so hard, man. I think the standard is probably one of the best for, even if you don't get something that's great, you can still recoup most of the pack. But obviously the rare and the legendary have far greater potentials if you hit well.
Yeah, another element with this drop is that the age again went up with +2. I think the first drop I did, there was like 24. Yeah. Recently we had 26. Now we're at 28. So I packed uncommon 27-year-old, like striker, 68, I think. And I already straight sold him for a pretty good price. But it's for me, like, you can buy a 27-year-old guy or 20. Like, you can pack both. So there's a bit, like, bigger, I would say that, like, difference of variance in like things you can pack. So if you have 500, like legendary pack is now 500 USD, right? So it's already,
which I think is a bit. I think that's a hell of a price as well. That's a big price for a legendary. And now knowing that the best player in those packs, Claire, is already out. So your biggest hit, your biggest reward from those is already out of those packs. So it's almost like, well, you know, the best possible prize is gone.
And you could get, now like one of the newly minted 28, 27. If you get like an 85 rated 28, that's, I don't know, it's not maybe the same value or a bit less. So it's a bit risky. Like before, it was always you get like some ROI on that. So it makes it a bit harder what to pack, but like I approach it a bit more from my own, what do I need side of things, less value focused. I have my Casablanca Corsairs in gold and Black Sea in silver. They both could use some rare upgrades on multiple positions. So I want a rare guy for sure. Price-wise, for my budget and what I have with my MFL coin right now, it also fits really well. Plus, I think it's good value also if you have a rare and an uncommon in there, which are both very useful for me.
Yeah.
So that's why I think my strategy is just to get a rare. I also don't want to risk going for the legendary and miss out on both because I'm too slow then for both.
Yeah.
So all those things combined make me go, let's say, for the rare.
So if I was in your position with your clubs, like you said, I would go for the rare. But I don't. I'll end up just loaning them out, which, or just selling them rather than actually having the players and using them in for the Wyvern. So I go for the standard, which some of the prices these days of commons, by the way, what is going on with some of these prices?
Yes, for the roof.
Like I'm just looking, there's, 62 rated players going for like $12, $13. Mental!
Yes.
Mental.
Yes.
I sold a 65 rated centre back today for $28.
Yeah, that's
65 rated centre back.
I think, but this is the thing. Also for us, that seems crazy. But there's like what I shouted out. How many guys? 48 new users, right? For them, that is now their reality.
Yeah.
And they don't know. They think this is normal pricing. But for us, it's pretty surprising how much it went up. So I also sold that 27-year-old striker I packed for 25 because I thought it was like, for me, that's a really good price already for such like an old guy, and I could get much younger people for. But yeah, that's the new reality, right? So yeah.
Do you think it's healthy for it to be at that level?
Do I think it's healthy? Well,
or do you think that should be where those prices settle at?
But it's just the market, right? It's just MFL is getting more popular.
Yeah,
we get so many new users, and with the supply a bit limited. Maybe when the store opens and people keep buying, it will go down a little bit more.
Yeah,
it takes a bit pressure off. I think overall it's healthy for the game and for any economy that you have a little bit of inflation, right? Like 2 to 3%. We've seen way more inflation, of course, in MFL, but it's okay. The market will settle, and we'll have more supply from the store opening, which we'll talk about later. Like, what should you go for when the store opens? Before we get there, maybe let's talk about our clicking strategy. So, what is your strategy? Refresh or not to refresh?
I always refresh. That's my strategy. I always refresh. And some people, like you may... what's your one, actually, quickly, before I go into detail about mine? What's yours?
So now, I think before it paid off to refresh. I think now it doesn't anymore. That yellow button, you just see it when it hits, like for me, 11, for you, 10, right? You see the spinning loading thingy starting automatically. And then you just keep your mouse. And then when it says buy, click. Straight. That's like my strategy. So maybe if everyone starts doing it, it will get harder, but it automatically starts processing. It's like checking availability, it says, right? So it's like not available, then checking availability or liability.
Yeah.
And it says buy now, and you click buy. That's my strategy. What would you yourself?
It's interesting we have different strategies. So I go for I've always been a refresher. I think I'll always be a refresher.
Team refresh.
Team refresh.
That's could already be the hashtag for later. Team refresh. Team refresh. We can do two. Team refresh or team click.
So the hashtag for today's episode, slightly earlier than usual when we put it in here. Let us know which type of strategy you used for getting your drops. Are you a hashtag team wait or hashtag team refresh? We want to know. I want to understand a little what's the gauge of strategy like. But so I've always gone for refresh to provide some evidence to support my decision making. This has bagged me 2 legendary packs in the past, so I have got a little bit of evidence there. I think I can't say that. I was going to say it does give you an advantage. It doesn't at all. I think there is a slight window, I think, where I can get it quicker than you. If I can get it to refresh bang on, where it doesn't have to load, I just go straight into it. It
could be maybe, yeah.
The second it hits 59, or usually the second it ticks to 58, I refresh, or half a second into 58, I refresh. I have got super fast internet though, and I've got really quick fingers for my mouse. But yeah, don't think it really helps. But I am hashtag team refresh.
Yeah, well, what works for everyone. It worked. I got the rare pack last Tuesday. It worked. You got those legendary packs. So Yeah, it both works. What works for you is good.
It also is worth saying that regardless of what strategy you do in terms of hashtag team refresh or hashtag team wait, it's also a good thing to have planned in your head which pack you're going to go for straight away. Because if you're going to go for a legendary, you can say goodbye to a rare pack straight away, because you're not going to get a rare pack. Because the time you've gone back onto it, it's going to be gone. Or you have multiple screens and multiple tabs, and you can somehow grab like max packs. If you're really quick, you click on a rare and click on legendary, click on whatever, and you can do multiple at once. That's how you get multiple by different.
Yes, but that's also because maybe a little life hack. It's you reserve it. You don't have to buy it straight away. So you could, with multiple tabs open, you can just like reserve, right? And then you do buy process payment. So yeah, there's multiple strategies. Hopefully now people know a bit better and it will get a bit more competitive. But I think it's good because some people are pretty sad they didn't pack anything. So I like to help them packing things.
Not pack strategy advice.
Yes, hashtag.
Well, it kind of is actually. You saying there about the reserved aspect of them, that's also a good thing to note as well. A little bit of, I guess, alpha really for those who don't know. But yeah, the packs are reserved until you purchase them. But if you don't purchase them within that reserved amount of time, which I think used to be 10 minutes, now it's half an hour.
Yeah, last Tuesday it was half an hour, right?
If you don't purchase them within half an hour, they get let onto the market or the drop page again. So sometimes in the chat or in the Twitch chat or in the general chat, someone from the team will say, "Oh, by the way, there's going to be like a rare pack or 5 standards are going to come back onto it," and that's usually almost like a second wave of. Usually, it's only about 5 or 6 packs, but if you can get a bit cheeky enough, you can grab on there as well. And that's when you have to be, I think, hashtag team refresh.
Yeah. So some drop advice from us,
yes,
which you might use. Yeah, so that's a bit more about the drop itself and your strategies. I want to talk now also about the store and the drops, because the store is going to open. This might change some dynamics and how people are going to spend their MFL coin. And it's another way without any pressure of clicking, I think. I'm not sure what will be limited supply, but I guess it will be kind of unlimited as long as the MFL is out there. The MFL coin, I mean.
Yeah.
So what will it be worth buying, like just players in the store or for the drops? Because there is a bit of a premium. I don't know if you check those prices. When I check the prices, there is a little bit of a premium on a pack. And that is probably because you can get an upgrade, right? That's why you pay the premium. But yeah, is that worth it to pay? So for example, I'll illustrate. So a rare pack is 72,000 MFL coin. But in the store, when you're gonna buy the players, it will be, let's say, cheaper. So a rare player is 52 and uncommon is 10. And a common is 2. So together that is 64. Yeah, 64k. So you pay 8,000 more for technically the same. So you have like an 8k premium on the pack. Yeah, if my calculation seems correct. So yeah, you pay like 8,000 more for the chance of some upgrades. So do you think, Jimbo, is that like a fair price to take a little bit of a gamble for some upgrade? Like paying a bit more for a pack instead of buying 3 separate ones in the store?
I really don't know. I don't actually think I have an answer for that, if I think it's...
Yeah, like, I mean, how often do you get an upgrade? I think the chances are not that. But let's talk about uncommon, because I think I just see that's more interesting. Because a standard pack... Well, you want to explain it, like the standard...
So I want to just say, for first things, an uncommon player by itself is worth 10,000 MFL coin, which in terms of USD value equates to $12.50. You could just get one of those and flip it straight away.
Yes.
In theory, I think that is nuts. I think that's obviously part of these price increases we've seen in uncommons so much recently, but also that comes back to our point when I asked, is it sort of a healthy price point for uncommons and whatnot? And you were saying, with the store opening, that could be actually built in on purpose to bring the price down to an extent. So maybe that's the price they want uncommons to be at.
Yes. Yeah, and to illustrate also, the standard pack is 20,000. And you get like 1 uncommon and 2 commons, and the commons are 2,000. So you could get the same for 14k in the store. But yeah, I would rather, in this situation, I really would rather just buy 2 uncommons for 10k instead of a standard pack for 20k.
Easily. Yeah.
So in that sense, if the store opens, I'd rather spend my MFL coin there.
If the store opens, I'm going straight for that uncommon player, mate. I'm going straight for it. Or do we just wait out and hope the price of uncommons come down?
Well, this is the good thing. So I think the store will add again more supply. It will be a bit healthy for the market. Like, it's overheated. It will cool it down, what you said. So it will definitely change a little bit the packs and the dynamics of the marketplace, and we might see people spending more MFL coin there than the packs.
Yeah, I think it's also an interesting one in the sense that realistically, the only people who can buy the uncommon packs or above is people who haven't joined within the last 3 months. Because no one else, you have to probably been within 2 or 3 seasons to have acquired that many points, right? So for the new users,
I wrote this down also, right? And in the agenda, like the new things, it's about new users and drops. So. Yeah, in the stream, we saw a couple of new users who were a little bit disappointed, like they didn't get anything with the drop. And then, of course, in the store, with only points, it will also be hard to get. So, yeah, that's maybe a little bit tough for them. So hopefully, with our amazing clicking advice, they'll do better. But yeah, there was also some new things about like how to get whitelisted. Can there be new ways of making sure you have priority access, or the new users have new access? So I think the quest in general is great. I think you don't need a lot of, let's say, already existing players to get a lot of points. So everyone can, it's like a pretty fair playing field, the quests. So to get your access. And now we have this tournament. That's also pretty cool.
Are you signed up to it?
I signed up for it. You too?
I signed up for it, yeah. I signed up for it, didn't realise it was only 1 club per person. I just registered both clubs to it. And then I had to remove one.
Okay.
Which I was surprised it allowed me to do that. But yeah, I'm registered for it, which is only 200 people maximum, isn't it? Which is
yeah, it was like you have to be pretty fast to register. But yeah, I think that's also a great way. Like, we can maybe talk about other ways to make drops a bit more maybe fair, or like a bit more whitelist, or other ways that you're not how to say, like, dependent on your internet connection or your clicking skills or your nerf, how you handle nerfs. So the quests are a great way. I think the whitelist tourney is a great way. Maybe in competition, right? I don't know, you can win instead of qualifying for Champions League. You can get like a whitelist somewhere, or for like the drop.
Yeah.
So there's multiple ways I think we can do that.
I think it's I think going back to your point about the new users, we had some in the chat. I think it was sad to see that some new users couldn't grab packs, but again it shows the demand for the packs, which is great. I think MFL didn't. Well, not just MFL, but everyone didn't. We underestimated that much demand.
Yes.
And I think Lucas did say in the chat, I'm not going to quote him on it because I could be slightly wrong here, but something to do with, obviously, we've got one next week or tomorrow, actually. For
when it releases,
tomorrow. And then in subsequent season or off-season, beginning of next season, it also looks like we're going to have a few other ones as well, but that supply will be adjusted based on demand. And if there's anything to go by at the moment, it wouldn't surprise me if we have 2 drops again, say the beginning of next season 0.7, that there's more packs available this time. same price probably, but more packs available, I think.
Yeah. Well, this is a nice transition to the drop frequency I wrote down. So you have, how many drops should we have? It's like it's a tricky thing, right?
It's a touchy subject.
It's a touchy subject, yeah. But I think like every season, before the season, 1 or 2 drops. I think with the organic growth we have right now, and always before seasons new users join, and then you have a drop also to get them in, and to get them some players. I think that seems like a good rhythm to have, especially with the store closed.
Yeah, I mean, just hypothetically, if we had the mega drop on Tuesday, that would have sold out so quick as well.
Yes,
you could have easily done the mega drop on last week, and that would have, like, the demand we had was insane. I guess unheard of in a sense. Yeah, but yeah, the frequency is an interesting one. It's good to know that we potentially could be getting like small drops in between seasons. That's quite nice. It gives people a reassurance that there is going to be an opportunity to grab more players in packs, because there's that, question always comes up, like, oh, when's the next pack drop? When's next this, next that? And it's quite nice to know. And also, it could also fit quite nicely in with the whole retirement piece when that gets implemented with progression and stuff. With players retiring each season, a couple new packs come in to obviously substitute and refill that supply as well. And like a set frequency.
Yeah, it can also be, it's pretty natural to football also, right? You have like transfer windows, and then you have new guys coming in. You can say intake from the academy. We don't have any academies yet, but for example, in Football Manager, right, you have this message like, oh, we all those new guys will join the youth academy, and these are the best guys you have, right? So it's like in between seasons is when you get new guys, you sign new guys, maybe some young talents. We don't have any academies or like generated commons you randomly get assigned or something. So it's pretty natural to have a couple of drops to bring more guys, like more players into the game. So it would be like a nice frequency to also always keep telling new users, okay, you have to wait until the end of the season and there will be another drop. And then after the season, another drop. And then you reward people who are active, active on Twitter and active with questing, just playing the game, and those people can get whitelists or win the tournaments. I think it also seems like a pretty good setup to me, fair setup.
Yeah, although I think we're going to go to the final part is about like brainstorming ideas for future drops, right?
Yeah, like could there be other ways to make it more fair, or more like other ways to give out whitelists, or to get new user whitelists?
Let me Uno reverse card.
Do it.
Scrap whitelists. Just scrap them. Get rid of them. What's your thoughts on that?
No, I wouldn't. I like rewarding active people and whitelists, but maybe we need to think about some special new user whitelists.
Technically, this tournament doesn't reward active users. It does, but technically it doesn't at the same time. It rewards someone who is active at the time of registration, which you could just argue is the same as just being active and purchasing on the day of the drop. I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm being a dickhead on purpose.
Yeah. And what is maybe and there's another thing is that if you how the quality of your squad determines which kind of whitelist you can get.
Yeah, that was also quite a hot topic, wasn't it?
That was also that's also is that the most democratic way, and especially for new users who want to maybe get a head start by buying a rare or legendary pack. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of that. Maybe just make it a cap tournament. Maybe even make it 600, 700. Like all Bogles also have some kind of random stone club in there to compete. Make it.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. I think the format in terms of how the rewards are distributed, I can't say I'm the biggest fan of. We say, like, just to use your quote there, rewarding active users with whitelists. I could argue that I'm a very active user in MFL. I'm immediately locked out of getting a legendary pack just because I have an Iron Club, which is by choice, obviously. But I think maybe it's something capped, or just maybe I don't really.
Well, what would be nice is we had these flash tournaments for Wendurk. You remember? Wendurk Cup. So kind of flash. Like that would be cool, maybe you do like flash tournaments for whitelists.
And those were 800 capped, weren't they? I
think they were 800 capped. Yeah, or we can lower it a little bit, maybe 700, 650. To make it a bit more democratic and cap it and then just randomly. So people who are always kind of checking out Discord, I guess that's what we can call active users, right? When they're like on Discord or in the app a lot. Maybe in the app you can get some pop-up whitelist tourneys in competitions. So some things like that to really reward people who are really eager and checking Discord a lot or the app a lot. I guess that's...
Yeah, I guess I don't really know how this would work, but you often think websites can just give you like mobile notifications.
Yes.
So just do like a bit like how Discord just give you an announcement notification. Could you do like a little push notification via your phone? You would obviously have to give it permission to allow that, which is I guess where it gets a bit tetchy, giving permissions for a site to do something. But there's going on to. We'll brainstorm a bit more here. Is another strategy, process and method for giving packs is the pre-order and then the randomizing process.
Yeah, right? Totally random.
Which has been done by Top Shot in the past, where you basically pre-order the pack. It could be like a week in advance or so, or however, a couple of days in advance, or in a set window, and then you've paid for your pack, and then when the time of drop happens, that it randomly allocates or randomly picks people from that pre-ordered bucket pool, and then if you were lucky, you get the pack. If you're not, you get refunded. Pros and cons to that. Pros,
it's the fairest.
It's fairest, yeah.
Yeah. Con is. Anyone who, if you don't care about MFL, you can also just register for this random thing. And it's, what I don't like is that the pure flippers get those packs. I think you need to care. I want people who care about MFL. So when I was, for example, checking the sales bot for new users, I saw a couple of names I never saw before. Who were very active in the sales bot, but then I checked their accounts and they had no clubs and no players, which means they just probably got guys and sold them, right? Or bought and sold. So it's pure flipping.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of that. I think you need to be active player, play the game and not flip it. Like,
I think we've all got a bit of a flipper inside us, mate. I think we've all.
Yeah, but if it's flipping for getting more dapper to upgrade your squads, fair enough. If you're like, the game and you see someone who's undervalued and you buy him and you listen for a bit more value, and then with that budget you buy another good guy for your team, I think that's fair. If in your account I see 0 players, 0 clubs, while you are selling a couple of guys, I think that is like flipper sign. So I'm not a big fan of that.
They are also healthy.
It's a bit like, I have a good comparison.
I have the same view same view on that as well. But I understand that flippers are a healthy aspect of the economy as well. They are the quick transfer of their just player to someone.
I have maybe to finish up this episode, like maybe a good comparison for like what flippers are in real life football. It's like those agents who sign those young guys. It just happens a lot with like Dutch talents. So they're like 16, 17. Or 18, and they do well already in the Eredivisie, and then I don't know, Aston Villa wants them, I don't know, random club, right? And then they go already to the Premier League for like 10 million euro, and it really destroys their career because they're not ready for a move. They should have stayed in the Eredivisie a couple of seasons, mature there, then maybe try first a German club or a French club, and it's like those agents who don't care about their development, they just want to get that big signing bonus, that big agent fee. And they don't care about the player at all. That's like what flippers are for me. Yeah, they don't care.
I think it's a fair comparison. Another brainstorm: having packs at different time zones, like changing.
That's great. That's a great. Yeah.
I would be a big advocate for this because personally, I do not. I guess I do not care. That's quite a strong thing to say. I wouldn't be that mad if it got changed to like middle of the night or early morning or lunchtime, whatever, for me. You know, if I want to get a pack, I'll be there. Obviously, it's not 3 a.m. in the morning. People who do that, fair play to you, we respect you, we stay up for that. But I think maybe having a slight time difference like earlier on in the day could be beneficial for some people. I think maybe like splitting them, I don't know, something it could be nice. It could be slightly more accommodating. I understand that from a player base of being Europe and North America, that fits best. It's the best of both worlds for both groups. But
yes, yeah, definitely. Like when we have maybe we have more Asian users, yeah, like 11 p.m. French time. It's like 5 a.m. China time, like Japan time. So that's not ideal for those kind of markets. So
yeah,
that would also be a good thing to consider in the future for drops, to make it a bit more fair, a bit more democratic, to change times, let's say.
But I personally, I wouldn't want the pre-order thingy. I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that. That's not
no, and me neither. No, well, yeah, you heard already. I like rewarding people who are playing the game and are actively engaged with the community on Discord. I think those are like two groups that you want to reward, and there's multiple ways to do it.
Can I play devil's advocate again? I love playing devil's advocate. Devil's advocate / unpopular opinion.
Yes,
potentially.
Yeah,
you could be an active MFL player but just never touch Discord. I think there's going to be some point in MFL when we get way more users. Like let's just call it like a couple thousand more, or like 500 more, where we'll have to rotate away from like active Discord users, because I don't think it's fair to reward active Discord users in the far future. That's devil's advocate piece. Maybe it's not an unpopular opinion. I think it's maybe a bit of a...
I think that makes a lot of sense. And I think we mentioned before in multiple episodes that ideally you want to have way more communication within the app, right? That you can chat to other users within the app, that you can make deals within the app. And right now, most communication is done on Discord, on Twitter. So when we grow and we have more in-game communication, in-app communication, then we could maybe also do such things more in the app. Is
OSM between different people? Is that just like a game where
it is? That's also different users, yes. And you can message in the app also.
Okay, message in the app. I was going to go like, do you message in the app? Yes. Because obviously we don't know game, and maybe apart from OSM, you don't really know how do you like communicate with managers. You just, I guess it's all an app, isn't it? Yeah. So, okay, cool. I was just wondering. Thank you for the answer. Yeah, just interested.
Good.
But no more devil's advocate. No more.
I think we've kind of covered most aspects here. It's like,
I agree.
It's like first the drop itself. Maybe what should you consider when you choose, like when you're doubting between different packs. Then when you've picked a pack, maybe what is the optimal... Well, the opinions are different here, but what's the optimal strategy to get that pack, right? And then when the store opens, should you maybe go for that instead of the drop? And I think we've come up with a couple of good tweaks maybe to the system, right?
Yeah.
I think the my favorite thing I just came up with is this when Dirk tourney, these quick tourneys, instead of one massive tourney.
I think a quick tourney,
the quick flash tourneys for all different kinds of whitelist. And then you get more engagement in the Discord. So if the team is listening, I'm pro flash tourneys for whitelists. Yeah,
I agree with that. I like the idea. So I think this is a good time to wrap up episode 38 of the Wendirtcast, all about drops. So hashtag, if you weren't listening for that 30 seconds earlier, what it was, hashtag team refresh or hashtag team wait. Which side of the pack drop strategy are you on? Are you a Calver or are you a Jimbo? Are you a waiter or are you a refresher? I quite like that. I might just hashtag team refresh, hashtag team wait.
Yes, it's nice.
But let us know in the Discord or on Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter, what sort of packs you're going to be going after, what you're trying to achieve. We saw some great packs being opened on Tuesday. Tomorrow, for the pack drop, which will be the 21st of May, Tuesday 21st of May, there'll be the second pack drop, which will be live streaming and hosting as per. So an hour before the drop, we'll be going live on twitch.tv/WhenDirtCast. However, if you can't find us on Twitch, you will see our cheerful faces, ugly mugs, cheerful chaps in the bottom corner somewhere of the NF website. Remember, if you're new around here and you're not following or left a review or anything like that, please do go and do that. Thanks to Taggard's giveaway that we had and the requirements, we've now got 24 Spotify reviews, all 5-star. So, which is absolutely phenomenal. But if you've not given us a rating or anything like that, go do that. That'd be greatly appreciated. And so we'll see you on Tuesday. If not, we'll see you this time next week for an episode of the When Dirt Cast. Thank you for listening.